Hello and welcome to Brainy Gardener. Today it is all about how to grow and care for the Truncate Living Stone. The Truncate Living Stone, also known as Lithops pseudotruncatella, is native to several regions in southern Africa, mostly Namibia, where it grows among rocks and sand. It is a small plant, rarely exceeding 10 centimeters in height. The name Lithops comes from the Greek words meaning stone and face, referring to its likeness to a rock. The leaves or faces are thick and fleshy, arranged in pairs at the base of the plant. They are gray-green with brown or red markings, which help to camouflage the plant in its natural habitat. It blends in perfectly with the widespread quartzite stones in the area. Even specialists have trouble identifying the plant at times due to its deceptive camouflage. This is an evergreen plant that has olive green and brown foliage. The flowers are bright yellow and open during the late summer and autumn. As succulents, these plants love bright conditions. Indoors, they will do best in a south or west-facing window, where they will receive at least 6 hours of sunlight per day. In hot climates, give the plant bright, indirect light in summer but full sun during winter. You can grow these plants outdoors or indoors, but most gardeners prefer to bring them indoors and display them in a pot to highlight their unique nature. They should be watered lightly during their growing season, which lasts from spring until fall. Make sure the soil is completely dry between watering. Watering once every 2 to 3 weeks should be sufficient. When winter comes and the plant goes dormant, stop watering. Overwatering is the main cause of most issues related to this plant. If grown in a pot, water from the bottom to avoid splashing water on the leaves. Before watering, ensure that the pot is warm and not cold. Watering in the cold is a death sentence. The Truncate Living Stone is a desert plant, so it thrives in warm, dry conditions. It does best if the air is on the drier side, with temperatures ranging from 65 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit in the daytime and 50 to 55 degrees at night. When the plant is dormant during winter, you can let temperatures drop as low as 40 degrees but no lower. However, if the winters are particularly harsh, consider growing your plants indoors, where you can better control temperature and humidity levels. This plant needs dry conditions and not a humid environment. The drier, the better when it comes to this plant. If you live in a particularly humid climate, consider growing your plants in a pot so you can better control the environment around them. Dry conditions and good ventilation are essential. Since these plants are adapted to surviving in nutrient-poor soils, they don't require much fertilizer to do well. Too much fertilizer will do more harm than good. Truncate Living Stone can be propagated by seeds or cuttings. To propagate by seeds, simply sow the seeds in a cactus potting mix or regular potting soil that has been amended with extra perlite, humus, or sand. Cover the seeds with a fine layer of grit to prevent burying them. Keep the humidity level high by covering the pot with a layer of plastic sheet to keep the soil moist. After a few days, remove the plastic and begin misting the pot. Keep this up for a couple of weeks and wait for the seeds to germinate. Another propagation method is by using cuttings. Take a sharp knife and cut a clean, healthy section from the main plant. Allow the cutting to callus over for a few days and then insert it into a cactus potting mix. Wait for the cutting to grow while providing it with optimal conditions. The majority of plant propagation is done from seeds, however. The seedling often takes several years to achieve blooming size. Truncate Living Stone needs repotting only once every 5 to 7 years. When you do repot, use a cactus potting mix and a pot with plenty of drainage holes. Avoid using pots with unneeded space, as this can lead to root rot. These plants, when grown in large pots, tend to experience a poor flowering season. Lithops in smaller pots have much better flowers, so it's recommended to plant them in as small a pot as possible. And since they're slow growers, this works out perfectly fine. Truncate Living Stone is not toxic to pets or humans. These plants are relatively resistant to pests and diseases, but there are a few that can cause problems. Mealybugs, scale insects, and spider mites are the most common pests. If you notice any of these on your plant, remove them using rubbing alcohol or treat them with a gentle insecticidal soap.